Feck. Feck! Oh, feck. I just realized the YouTube stream did not have any audio for the last few minutes. So, okay. Yeah, done now. And so, 9 different servers. Main storage is here. We're only using, what, less than 2 terabytes at the current time of the 18. It's 18 because there's 6 drives of 6 terabyte each. So that's, you cut that in half for redundancy, that gives you 3 drives of 6, which is 18. So we can technically have up to 3 drives to fail all at once before we start to lose data. But if 3 drives have failed, you're not in a good state anyway. You can lose data if you lose 2 drives from both sides of the modem, which is not that great. Down there. So, inside the main pool, there's a few disks that were created, and these are attached to different servers. So the 2 terabyte one, I think that's attached to Skynet, if I recall. Oh, is it this one? One of them anyway. And then another is attached to the Nextcloud. In the local here, local storage, we'll find the template that had been previously uploaded. This is from April? Yeah, April. And it's basically a base image to Bootstrap. So it has a basic NixOS install, and that we can use it to connect in and get things going. So now, time for the actual instructions. So I've logged into Proxmox. If I go to the top right, there's this create CT, which is a create container. I'm going to use example as the host name. Fantastic host name, isn't it? For an example. And I'm going to use the admin public key here to connect up first. I could use my personal one, and that's quite possible, but I think in the template one, I've already set it to be, whatchamacallit? I can't remember. So the template, gotta choose it here. Disks, I'm gonna leave it just 8. CPU, gotta leave it at 1. RAM, I'm just gonna bump it up to 1 gig. Actually, gonna bump it up to 2 gig. Since this is gonna be deleted anyway, I may as well give it a little bit of extra oomph. The IP4 addresses are important here. We can later set it inside the container, but it's best if it's set here first, because you have to be able to connect to it. And you see how I put in the IP address, but it's not working? That's because it's expecting the CIDR one, so it's 26. Remember what we were studying with Q1 in first year? Or whoever's still in first year, or second year. It's that, so IP and CIDR notation. Because, as you probably know, that 26 basically tells you who's local in the network, and we want this machine to be able to contact everything else in our cluster. So 26. If we only wanted a standalone one, it would be 32, but now the router from ITD is 1.99.65. This is where all our internet traffic comes from. ITD are in charge of that. And DNS, we just leave it as is, and then finish. So what this does is it extracts the the template and builds it up from there. The thing about LXCs is that compared to a normal virtual machine, they're a lot lighter, because a virtual machine will have your everything. So you know your BIOS and all that jazz, on the drivers, on the kernels, on that. It has all of that in a VM. It's completely separate from the host system, and so there's a bit of overhead because you're emulating a completely different server. LXCs have a distinct advantage of sharing resources with the host system directly. Things are namespaced off, called C groups, and they are used to just separate things out. So it's basically running like a program on the host machine. It's not a emulation. It's basically running almost bare metal. So anyway, here this has been created, and you can see example here is perfect, and finish is the instructions, and I'm gonna zoom, and I'm gonna leave it off a little bit. So there's a secondary part to it, and oh, and just in case you're wondering, I haven't actually uploaded the slides yet. I do mean to, but I just wanted to make sure it was all perfect and worked, because I haven't actually tested this out. I'm going mostly from memory. So hopefully things don't fail miserably. So we have to do the Nix OS config for the machine. And, well, wouldn't you know, I already got, here's one I did earlier. So there are 3 files of note. There's the example one in the machine section, which is what I say here. Create a new machine. I set host name and IP. Host name is example and IP is 193.99.100. It's got basic stuff here. It's got the basics that's needed to get things running. There won't be anything hosted on this machine because it's just a temporary one. And I've added to the flake.nix, as you can see there. So if I go to flake.nix, you can see example imports example.nix. Very simple there. And then I have to boot up the server in Proxmox and SSH into it. So, time to start this machine. There's a start button up in the top right here, and when I press start it should just spring into life. Let's go for our average. See. So you can see RAM is being used, and if I go to console here, there's now a root at example. So can I actually copy it out from here? I think I can. So next set of instructions was to run this command, cat ssh host key. So when you start up these machines, they generate SSH keys for themselves to prove who they are. And I think, yes, paste. Perfect. And so, wait, what? No cat? That's weird. Okay, cat. That's new. Give me a second. It may have to be that I just have to SSH into it or something. So PowerShell can do SSH. Boot at 193.1.99.100. Oh fuck. Typo strike again. SSH. Yes. There we go. Because I tried to log in, it generated the keys, which is what I wanted. I did not know that was the requirement though. So it's the host and ed laptop. So this here is the SSH key for the machine. It can basically prove who it is. And I'm gonna go to the secrets.nix and I'm gonna pop it in. So secrets.nix, and I pop it in here where I've already pre-made it. So this uniquely identifies this machine and it allows it to access secrets. And where is it? Yeah, no, I don't want to terminate that. So in here I've added to the systems array, and between this, if I go x minus r, why have I so many typos today? It is gonna rekey all the files, all the password files, and this is important. Except I think it's just gonna double check. The downside is that this this tool is unable to see if there's any files that don't need to be rekeyed. So the only file that actually needs to be rekeyed is restix.c, for example. So I'm just gonna roll back all of these secrets except for that one. Where is it? Back up. Restic.h. Yeah. This is not a normal procedure, just in case you're wondering. I'm just doing it for verbosity. Hopefully in the future they'll fix that up so it only identifies if the actual things change, but that's a side note. So I've got the key. I've updated the secrets, and now what's the next thing I want to do? Oh yes, apply on DNS. So DNS servers basically tell you where each machine is located. It allows you to use a very nice fancy name to be able to access them. Because remember, I think I've talked about it before, but in each machine there's a Skynet DNS records array, and it has the name linked up to an A record and the pointer linked up to the IP address. And if once this is updated, boom boom boom, come on, you can do it. I know you can do it. Wait a second, just a very side note thing of, I just want to confirm that I have, yes. I had a slight incident last week where when these machines were turned off and rebooted, they kind of forgot what was on them. So I had to completely reinstall them last week, which was not too bad. It was just nerve-wracking. And why did I fail? Oh fuck, yes. Fuck you. And as you can probably see, I have not touched this machine since, locally. One sec. Boom, boom, boom. Once this is done properly, I should be able to do a dig for the example.skynet.ie. So just to confirm that's working, let's dig example skynet.ie, and boom, it pops up. DNS is correctly set to be 193.1.99.100. So that's good. DNS is working as it should. And then the final part is to apply on example. So example is the name that's in the flake.nix, and so it's gonna just figure out what's in this file and apply it, and hopefully this just works. Come on, you can do it. Yes, it's connected and working. And so if this is successful, we can see a pile of new services being started, and that's good. Let's see, in fact, I'm just gonna stop that briefly, apply for showing off. It's better to have the verbose option on because it puts each entry in a single line. Makes it easier to follow as well. So you can see that it's copying a pile of paths, pile of files into the new server. You can probably recognize some of them, like bzip2, xz, those are zipping programs. Linux PAM is the authentication. It's used for the UNDAP for us. NFS is our file and storage. OpenSSL at the bottom is OpenSSL Python 3, blah blah blah. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. The first install is always the most nerve-wracking. So, anyone got any questions while we're here? Because this may take another minute. No questions at all. $42. That is the answer. Yeah, we don't know the question though. That's the slight problem. But we know we're here because of 42. And I probably better stop there before Nintendo go after me. I think that was the road to the Viridian City. And even 20 years later, it's stuck in my mind. You can see that there's a lot of individual files and programs needed to make an operating system run. Ooh, Vestic is going there. Fantastic. And a lot of Perl. That's a lot of Perl. So, what have you been up to? Anything interesting? Okay, great. So, um, so we can see that stopping and firing units, that's good. Then creating the secrets, which is quite good as well. Secrets are basically what you need for certain programs to run. Restarting these, which is grand. Starting these new ones. Actually, those are not the new ones. These are new ones. So, AidNix is our secrets management. SSSD is the logging in system. And I think that's it. There should actually be, probably failed. The backups. But that's a slightly different thing. I need to look into that a tad more. So, remember how before I failed to log into the server? Well, what if this time, instead of going IP address, I go example at Skynet.ie. And yes. And why was that permission denied it? Oh, fuck is it? Ah, there we go. So there, I'm logged into the server. If it wasn't updated, it wouldn't have allowed me in, only the admin account. But here, as you can see, it's now fully installed and up to date. And this server, which is, if I go back to the Proxmox, is now up and running. It had a spike in network traffic, but that's kind of expected considering we were transferring over files to it. Hi hands. And it's using tiny amount of the swap, tiny amount of disk space, and it's working. That is how you use Proxmox to install a new server here. And yeah, that's fully functional, that's fully fledged. If I wanted to put, say, a game server there, that's how I would do it. If I wanted to go, oh, I want to host a website there, that's how you do it. So, any questions on that? Saying something, Milan?
Hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to host something, right, some sort of like, let's say a Terraria server, right, we would be able to do this, or we would have to contact the administrator, such as yourself.
As in hosted on the Skynet server?
Well, like you said, there's a lot of unused resources there, so yeah.
Yeah. I think Eliza was a while back planning to take charge of the game side of things.